This video is a continuation of the variables notebook, and I'm going to be discussing the objects, list, and remove functions. Basically, everything in R is an object, and an object is a data structure that has some attributes and methods, or functions, that act on those attributes. So if you're using RStudio or some other IDE, there's typically a visual tool that displays the current set of objects that are resident in your session. These tools are extremely helpful in not only reminding you of what variables exist or what objects exist, but they also typically allow you to inspect those variables through the same interface. Now, if you're using the interpreter in the terminal or R console, or even here in Jupyter Notebook, this visual reminder of the variables isn't present. And so we can actually use the objects and list functions, the ls function, to see these variables. If I type objects and I run this code block, you'll see that the variable names we created in the sections above are all listed here. Well, almost all of them at least. If you recall from the variable section, we also created two variables whose names began with the period character. Those variable names are hidden and do not appear in the output of the objects or list functions. Now, just to prove that those variables still exist, I'm going to output both of them here, and we can see that their values are printed. And also, the list function is actually the same as the objects function, and you'll see this if you check out the help page. So if I type ls here, you'll see that we get the exact same output. If you recall, when we exit an R session, we're typically prompted with the option to save our workspace, and this includes our command history and our data. This data includes all the objects that we've created. Now, if for some reason there are objects that you would rather not be saved in the R data file when you exit, then you can actually manually remove these using the remove function, the rm function. So let's say we want to remove the lowercase and uppercase a variables that we created earlier. We would type rm, and then in parentheses, we'd put the lowercase a, comma, uppercase a. And if we run this code block and list out the objects again, we see that both lower and uppercase a are now gone, and these will not be included in the R data file when we exit.